Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmen if you're new here. This is going to be my September TBR. This is the first time I actually have a scheduled or a picked out TBR because, like I said in the last video, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it. I mentioned that I have only mood read all year long, and it has been great. I just checked my Goodreads because I wasn't even sure how many books I've actually read this year, and it's 39. Wow. I didn't think I read that much because, like I said, I didn't feel like I was just, reading a whole lot. If I go back and look at everything, then yeah, it was a lot, but I'm very happy with the books that I read. I think they were pretty much all great books. Do you guys want me to do a reading wrap-up for this entire year? It's because, like I said, it was 39 books, and so I'd have to do it really quick. Probably couldn't give much information about the books, just my thoughts and maybe ratings of those books. Let me know if you want to actually see what I've read, because yeah, it was mood reading. There was no scheduled anything, themes to it whatsoever, Anyway, just let me know, because I can do that. I might have to split it up between two videos. We'll see. But anyway, the first books that I'm going to go over are the books that I'm going to be reading for the You've Got Mail Readathon that Chantel is doing. I'll link her channel down below and the video that she has with all the information for this readathon, because she's also doing a giveaway for it, and it's for the entire month of September. If you want to join, you can go down there and look at all the information and join us if you would like. So You've Got Mail is a fairly known, is pretty popular movie actually, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. I will say though that I think I almost like the old black and white You've Got Mail. I cannot even give you any information about the actors or when it was filmed or anything, but I actually like it a lot. But this one is going to be based off the more recent one. Still not very recent. It's pretty old, 90s I think, or early 2000s. I don't know. Just Tom Hanks, that one. So we're going to be doing it based off of that movie, and she has several prompts, like 11 prompts, and I'm not going to go into the details of all of them because you can go to her channel and her video and get that information there. But one of the things is to read a Jane Austen, because Kathleen Kelly loves Jane Austen, and I'm actually very excited about this because I did want to read more classics this year. Didn't happen. But I do love Jane Austen. I just finished reading Persuasion. That was one of the books that I read this year. I love it. I think it's my new favorite Jane Austen, and I'm kind of sad. I should have waited till now to read it, but the one of them that I haven't read yet is Sense and Sensibility, and so I'm going to try to read this one for the Jane Austen prompt. So Sense and Sensibility. And then another prompt is to read an epistolary, which is a book that has letters in it, and of course Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. I love this book. I love the movie. It's just so good. So this will be a reread, but I'm excited. I don't care that it's a reread. I love this book. Another prompt is to read a book set in a bookstore or a library, and I have several options. So you guys let me know which one I should read maybe. The Story People. I read it every year. I'm trying to remember if I read it this year already. I don't know. I love it every single time I read it. It is one of my top favorite books. Always recommend it. Probably one of the first books I'll throw out there and be like, you should read this one if someone asks me, what should I read? This one. But I just don't know. I should maybe read other books too. I just love this one. It's just so good. I don't know. The other option is the Little Paris Bookshop. I think I read this one. I mean, I started reading this some time ago or started listening to it on audiobook, and I feel like, if I remember correctly, if it was this one, I was a little bored with it. I don't know if it's any good. If you've read it, let me know if I should, you know, just try it. Monsieur Perdue is a literary apothecary. From his floating bookstore in a barge on the Seine, he prescribes novels for the hardships of life. Using his intuitive feel for the exact book a reader needs, Perdue means men's broken hearts and souls. So I liked the concept of it, but I think, I do remember now, I think it was this one that I started reading it and I was a little bored, but maybe I should give it another shot. I don't know. And then the other one is The Last Bookshop of London, which was also a recommendation by Chantel. I have it, I placed it on hold at the library, so I hope I can get it, because honestly, I think that's the one that I'm leaning towards the most because it sounds so interesting. It's set in World War II and during the London bombing, I believe. I don't know that much about it, but it just sounds so interesting, and I think I will probably read that one for that prompt. But we'll see. And then another prompt is to read one of the shoe books, you know, the ballet shoes, the theater shoes, I think is one, the skating shoes, something like that. I've never heard of these. I believe that they're junior books, but it sounds interesting, and it is one of the books that Kathleen Kelly on the movie recommends, and so I placed that one on hold as well, ballet shoes, at the library. And then another one is to read a Tom Hanks-ish book. I don't know if I will actually fulfill this prompt. I'm not, like, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Tom Hanks. I'm not a huge fan of most celebrities and actors, but whatever. But I did put Uncommon Type on hold at the library as well, which is written by Tom Hanks, so I don't really know what it's about, don't have that much information about it, but that one is an option as well. You do only have to fulfill like one prompt out of all of these to be entered into the giveaway and to, like, you know, actually do this readathon, but she does have lots of options of things, and all of these books that I have put on or I've chosen to read for this month are all books that I'm really excited about, so I like the options that she gave for the prompts. But moving on, I have some books that I started reading that I want to finish this month as well. I'm also 10 months behind on my goal on Goodreads, so I'm just trying to, you know, cram everything into this month so that I can, you know, just finish out the year at a more slower pace, you know, we'll see. But the first one is if I can pick it up, the first one is Thursday Murder Club. Another recommendation by Chantel. Thanks for all of the great recommendations. I started it, but I did not get very far into it. And this book is kind of, you know, damaged. It was free, and so I just decided to bring it home and read it and see if I enjoy it. I literally just read the first 2 chapters, but it's about 4 friends who get together on Thursdays and try to solve murders, and it sounds interesting and fun, so I'll see if I enjoy that. And then the next one is Faithfully Different by Natasha Crane. I started this book because I am part of an online Facebook book club, and this is the one they chose to read for the month of August, and we were on vacation. There was other things happening that I just was not even reading it with them. They've already finished it and moved on. But I do want to finish it because it is really good. It is regaining biblical clarity in a secular culture, and so I have enjoyed everything that I've read so far, but it is one of those books that you can't just like read through because it does have a lot of information, facts, statistics, numbers, things like that. But it's really interesting, and I do want to finish it, just because I want to hold to my Christian biblical worldview that is very much opposed in today's world and in our culture especially, and yes, it's just good. good stuff to know what you believe and to stand firm on it. Okay, then the other one that I started literally 2 days ago, I didn't get very far, just the first couple pages, but it is The Testament by John Grisham, and this one was recommended by Oshina. I'll also link her channel down below. She's one of my favorite booktubers to watch as well. I don't know that much about it. I've never read John Grisham before. His books come through the thrift store so much. There's so many of them, and they're just filling up my shelves. And they don't sell because there's so many of them. But this one sounded interesting. Oshina, when she talked about it, I was like, oh wow, that one actually sounds good. And because I was always curious about his books, I'm like, there's so many of them. Surely he's a good author. I don't know. But this one is about Troy Phelan, a self-made billionaire. He's also eccentric, reclusive, confined to a wheelchair, and looking for a way to die. Well, that sounds a little depressing, but his heirs, to no one's surprise, especially Troy's, are circling like vultures. Nate O'Reilly is a high-octane Washington litigator who's lived too hard, too fast, for too long. His second marriage in a shambles. He is emerging from his 4th stay in rehab armed with little more than his fragile sobriety, good intentions, and resilient sense of humor. Returning to the real world is always difficult, but this time it's going to be murder. Rachel Lane is a young woman who chose to give her life to God, who walked away from the modern world with all its strivings and trappings and encumbrances, and went to live and work with a primitive tribe of Indians in the deepest jungles of Brazil. In a story that mixes legal suspense with a remarkable adventure, their lives are forever altered by the startling secret of the Testament. So, I thought this one was interesting because John Grisham is not a Christian writer, but it is, you know, it's got that element in there because one of the daughters is a Christian and a missionary to a tribe in Brazil. So I thought that, you know, sounded interesting, and this might be the only one that I would actually want to read of his because of that. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but yeah, Oshina liked it, and most of her books that she recommends, I feel like we have the same interests in the books that we're reading. So, The Testament by John Grisham. We'll see. I say that a lot, don't I? I should stop. Okay, then two others that I was like, I'll throw in, you know, just for good measure. The first one is The Story Girl. Wow, The Story Girl by L.M. Montgomery. This is one that I haven't read yet. I think it's one that is also well loved. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I don't really know that much about it, but I love this edition too. Found it at the thrift store. It depends if I finish reading Faithfully Different or not, because like I said, it takes a while to get through a book like this. But the other one that I thought about reading is Knowing Scripture by Come on, focus. Knowing Scripture by R.C. Sproul. R.C. Sproul is one of my favorite theologians to read and listen to, especially when it comes to the canon of Scripture, and just knowing that we can trust that the right books were chosen to stay in the canon. And yeah, his passion and his love for Scripture just inspires me so much. And I found this one the other day at the thrift store again. And wanted to have it in my library, so I brought it home with me, and it is a fairly short book. That's why I thought maybe I could squeeze it in. It's like only 145-ish pages, maybe less, might be some study notes. So it's pretty short, so I figured I could maybe try to squeeze it in. We'll see. But yes, that is it, my September TBR. We'll see how much I get done. That's a lot of books. That's a lot of books. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. I'm planning on, as soon as I'm finished with filming this here, getting some other stuff done around the house, I'm going to go to the library and see if they have the books. I just placed them on hold today. They don't say that they're ready, but they all said they were there at the library on the shelf. So I'm going to see if I can just go ahead and pick them up. But yeah, I'm going to get started today. It's September 1st to reading these. I'm not sure which one I'll start with, but I'm excited. It's a lot of fun reads, I think, for this month. But anyway, let me know what you are reading for September, if you're joining us for the You've Got Mail Readathon, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.